Hey folks, my name is Tatiana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Ethereal Entertainer. Today I will be doing some astrological tarot readings for the month of December of 2022. Let's see how we're going to finish out the year. Let's see what we've got in store for this holiday season. So I'm going to be featuring this Modern Witch Tarot deck. Absolutely infatuated with this deck. It's available on Amazon if you feel drawn to this one. I will also be pulling a bonus oracle card for each astrological sign. This is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Super fond of this deck as well. I hope that you get as much enjoyment out of it as I do. I love the depictions in this deck. It is fantastic and so beautiful because I love roses. One of my favorite flowers, hands down. So I also have some beautiful bracelets made by yours truly from my Etsy shop, The Ethereal Construct. We have beautiful yellow and opalite colored glass beads with the evil eyes. These are available now, so feel free to check that out if you're wanting to get some gifts for yourself or some folks that you love for this holiday season. But yeah, let's get started. All right, Leo, we're going to start with your sun position placement. We have the card Nine of Swords. For your moon placement, we have the Seven of Swords card. And then for your rising placement, we have the Eight of Cups in the reversed position. And for your oracle card for the month of December, we have the Grandmothers. Remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. Okay, so let's get into what these cards mean. Okay, Leo, so we're going to start off with your sun position card, the Nine of Swords. This card represents fears, anxieties, worries. You see she's laying in bed, but she's not sleeping. She has her head in her hands and she has all the knives on the wall. This is an individual who's losing sleep. This is a person who's having trouble with getting rest at night. And that's what this card represents. See, the thing is that this card is about perspective of a situation, not necessarily the situation itself. It's about how we're internalizing it, how we're processing it, and what our opinion or viewpoint is and how that's affecting the way we navigate the situation. It's all about mindset with this card. So when you see this Nine of Swords card, it is an invitation to shift your point of view from where it is now to something that is more productive. It's not productive to be anxious, worried, scared, depressed for a long period of time. If we can do something to change or alter our mindset to help us get results. The thing is about being in a depressed or worried state, being in a highly anxious state for a long period of time, is that it gets harder and harder to see solutions to our problems. So this invites you to do things, talk to people that can help you with shifting your mindset. It's time for you to let this worry off of your chest. Maybe it will help to speak to someone who you trust about what is going on, what you're thinking about, so that you can get a sense of relief and get a sense of understanding that you need so that you can help navigate the situation for yourself better. So the thing is about the Nine of Swords card is that this is a representation of how you're feeling, not necessarily about what is, if that makes sense. So it doesn't have to be something that keeps you up at night. It doesn't have to be something that worries you, that brings anxious thoughts and feelings, that brings fear. This doesn't have to last for very long. If we choose to shift our mindset, to shift our thinking and our actions too, because sometimes we act in a self-sabotaging type of way that perpetuates these negative feelings for us and keeps us up at night. So this card is really about addressing where these anxieties, where these fears, where this depression is coming from, so that you can do something about it and shift yourself into a healthier, happier, more positive mindset. This is not to say that this is an easy thing to do. This is not saying, oh, well, just turn that frown upside down. That is not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is that the Nine of Swords is saying that you have been feeling a significant amount of weight in your emotions and in your thoughts, your heart, and it's time to do something about it. A step in a different direction versus what you've been routinely doing. This is not to say it's easy, it's to say it's necessary. So this may look like making an appointment with a therapist. This may look like opening up to your friend or your partner that you've been having issues with for a long time. This may look like confiding in someone about issues that you've been keeping to yourself for a long time because you felt like you couldn't or shouldn't talk about it. This is the card that's saying that the way you've been addressing it is not working, and it's time to find a different avenue, a different way to deal with it, and open your mind to the possibility that, not even the possibility, but to the fact that this does not have to be forever, that this is temporary if we do something about it. Okay, so moving on to the Seven of Swords position, moving on to the moon placement, you have the Seven of Swords card in this position. So you see that she's carrying 5 swords and then there's 2 on the ground. She's looking behind her. This is a card about picking and choosing, right? What to take with you, what to leave behind. This is about knowing your priorities, knowing what to put first and what to leave behind. So sometimes that can be hard for us, right? You have priorities, you don't know what to pick, where to start, what to go with first. And this is more so about a card where you need to apply strategy. You need to analyze your situation and you need to have a plan of attack in order to navigate this situation the best. There may be some people or circumstances where things seem like they're not being very fair to you. People aren't playing very fair, or people aren't seeing you or your perspective for what it is. There may be feelings of betrayal or feelings of, apprehension because the way that someone or some people, maybe not just one person, have been treating you or talking about you has not been doing justice to who you are as a person and your character. The thing is that with these type of situations and with these type of individuals, you can be as honest as you want to be, but people only hear and pick up and receive what they want to, right? So at that point, it's not necessarily about you being honest. It's about you moving strategically to navigate the situation the best for you. So this may look like picking and choosing what you tell people, right? Not being as open as you were before. You may have opened up and said something to a friend or someone you felt you trusted, and then you find out that your word has gone down the street, if that makes sense, and this is a card about, it's not necessarily about whether or not that person is your friend. Always, it's more so about you learning to have boundaries and learn to vet people better and know what you can and can't say, what you can and can't do around certain people, learning how to navigate those people in those situations. So the Seven of Swords card is saying sometimes you might have to play the devil's advocate a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes you may have to realize that you can't trust people as much as you thought. And it's not necessarily that, oh my gosh, this person betrayed you. That's part of the situation, yes. But it's more so about you learning to navigate people and circumstances better to protect yourself and your interests. You know what I mean? Putting you first. The betrayal is definitely not something you should just write off, right? Like, oh, let it roll off your back. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is there's a lesson to be learned here. There's a lesson to be learned when we're betrayed. There's a lesson to be learned when we feel backstabbed, when we feel like the relationships or the people in our lives are not doing us justice for our character and who we are. You know, you have to learn to better navigate those situations in those people. You have to learn to better protect yourself, know what you can say to others and what to keep to yourself. And that's what the Seven of Swords card is about, is learning how to strategically navigate those relationships so that you keep your best interest in mind at all times. Now, moving on to the Eight of Cups card for the rising placement. The Eight of Cups has to do with loss, with feeling like you have to walk away from a situation and a situation is at a loss. But when the Eight of Cups is in reverse, there's feelings and understanding of this, right? Like, you know this deep in your heart, but you're not actually doing the walking away part. You're not actually doing the I'm going to leave it alone and move on part. So this sentiment of the card is there, but the action to follow so that you can move on is not. And that's why this card is in the flipped position. So you may know very well, and whatever situation or circumstance or person or relationship pops up in your head, this is quite likely what it's pertaining to. But you know that there may be something going on that is showed you that it's not a sustainable situation. It's not a sustainable relationship. It's not healthy anymore. It's not giving you the gratification or the validation that you deserve. And you may be sticking around for a little too long. You know, you may be hoping that that person turns around their behavior for you. You may be hoping that this person eventually is going to open their minds and understand. And the Eight of Cups card in reverse is saying you're waiting for something that, even if it does come around, is not going to do the situation or the relationship or the circumstance any justice. And the best thing to do is to walk away. Also, in a different perspective of looking at this card, it may be that you might be running away or walking away from a situation prematurely. This card can definitely represent that type of energy too. So you may be wanting to flee because you feel like it's getting too tough, right? It's getting to be too much stress, too much drama, too much fill in the blank. But is that worth losing what's on the table if you walk away? And that's only a question that you can answer, right? Is walking away from the situation because it's too hard to deal with worth losing that person's trust or losing that relationship that means something to you, losing that negotiation that you've worked so hard for? Is it worth that? And it's up to you to sit and really contemplate on it and answer that question for yourself. So now we're going to move on to the Rose Oracle card. We have the grandmothers. I'm just going to go through and read the description, and they also come with little transmissions, and I'm going to read that for you as well. The grandmothers. Remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. The rose was here long before you and me, and long before humanity itself. She holds within her the rememberings of civilizations past, roots that reach back for millions of years and hold the codes of creation. They carry within the songs of the ancient grandmothers of the earth. Can you hear their song? When this card appears in a spread, it's an invitation to reach all the way back, to go forward, to reach your roots deep and soar high. The ancient grandmothers are calling for you to remember the wisdom of your ancestry, long before colonialism severed so much sacred. Before the rise and fall of empires and entire civilizations, all the way back to the origins of humanity. They're calling you to play your part in this time of healing, to heal and integrate what you've inherited in your ancestral line. It's not personal. These are changing, healing times that we came here for. to reconnect and reach all the way back to the original mother, and to see our role as the ancestors of those who are yet to come. To remain grounded and rooted in your life so that no matter how rocky things get, you always know that you are home. Rose transmission. I reach my roots all the way back to go forward. I call upon the sacred strength and support of my ancestors who did not forget to be with me now. I acknowledge the difficulties and what's coming up to be healed. And I do so for all those who are yet to come. I absolutely love that oracle deck, and I hope that you enjoyed that oracle card too. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. I hope to see you back really soon for January tarot readings, and that these holidays are absolutely good to you, that you have a great time with your loved ones, with yourself, with whoever you're with. And thank you so much for listening and watching. Please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that we can meet back again in January. Thank you. Bye.